Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video we had a little bit of an update go through yesterday and how that actually changes and shifts the meta actually. So what we have is two changes here to the shockwave hammer. The recharge rate is increased from 15 seconds to 20 seconds, and they fixed the bug where the shockwave hammer deals damage to players through structures and builds. So the recharge rate is only really a 5-second difference. I don't think this will impact the shockwave hammers at all. I think they will definitely need to increase the hammer probably a lot more. I think if I was them, I would increase the charge rate to 30 seconds. That's what I would do. Or decrease the amount of charges to 2. I think that's what I would do. I think the purpose of the shockwave rifle, that would be wild, shockwave hammer is supposed to be mainly mobility, but you have to be careful with the mobility because it does break builds, which is really unfortunate. So it's kind of like 4 charges with 15 seconds in between is not like that good. And it's not even 15 seconds in between. It's if you have 4 charges, you can use all 4 and then wait your 20 seconds to charge back up. So it's kind of like, you know, if I have 4 charges, I can just keep fucking firing them away and get to zone. I can, you know, if I get cracked, I'm hammering, I'm gone. If my opponent doesn't have a hammer, doesn't have as much charges than me, then he's fucked, and that's it. So it's kind of like, I don't think this will affect it that much. I think it's a step in a good direction, but I don't think it's the best. So I think the shock, you know, the let's say the meta opinion maybe is shockwave hammer will still be a must carry mobility item. Now you can shock your teammates with it, but it's a little weird and you have to kind of get that down pat. So probably carrying 2 would be the most viable option, but you can carry 1 if need be. So next we have POI capture time 60 seconds to 45 seconds. Now if you don't know what these are, some POIs have this like domination like flag in the middle where if you stand on it, it will reveal loot nearby, it will reveal any enemies nearby, and it will give you some bonus loot. It's on your own. I think that 45 seconds might be okay. It might have to go one more and maybe go to 30 seconds, just because, you know, 45 seconds doesn't seem like that much, but in game it's actually a lot of time. But you could do something like, let's say you land at a really hot location, you send your one player to go on sit on the POI capture, and then you send another player to sit somewhere high up, so on a building, on a hill, somewhere high up where you can watch over that spot, and then when he claims it, that you get bonus loot, but you also get the information of where other people are in your spot. So that could help kind of being contested, but usually the contested fights are over pretty quickly because pro teams and people know that if the fight drags out, then you're probably going to be shambles. So they might have to lower it to 30 seconds or maybe even like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that, where can someone else capture it back from someone else? That would be cool. Like if I capture it, can the enemy team capture it as well? Because if that's the thing, then you could kind of like fight over that spot on the map, and that would be really cool, kind of like domination style. But I think it is definitely a needed change to drop it down to 45 seconds. I just don't think it makes as much of it as an impact as they think it will. I think let's go with my meta opinion. I think depending on the drop, it might be cool, or it might be a play, but it's not that crazy. Now we have light ammo stacks drops are increased from 18 to 20. So this means when you find light ammo on the ground, you now have more ammo. So that's a buff to the SMGs and the tac pistols. That's a buff, basically, because you're going to have more ammo. I think this is kind of their way of trying to fix an ammo problem that the SMGs might have, but it's not because there's a lack of ammo, but it's more because you can reload at fucking warp speed with the SMGs, especially if you have light fingers. Like you can just spam and reload, spam and reload, spam and reload. But they're trying to make it a little bit more spray meta, I'm guessing, with this. So what's my meta opinion on this change? Basically, it's just going to, why is my nose itchy? It's just going to buff spray weapons and just cement in that you need SMG / tac pistol in your loadout. You don't I shouldn't say need, but you really should, because the scar is fucking shit. So knight chest spawn rate decreased from 100% to 70%. This is pretty big, because this is in some way also a nerf to the shockwave hammer, because 100% chest spawns, you get like 3 to 4 chests at like a split, but now it's reduced to 70%. So there's probably still a good chance you're going to get a lot of chests, but you won't get as many hammers, which means that if you do land somewhere where there's only 1 or 2 of the knight chests, then you know you might be fucked and you might not get a hammer. So this is an indirect nerf to the shockwave hammer and the Excalibur rifle, because you're going to get less of those as well. I think my meta opinion, good change. Or they could have just reduced the spawn rate, or the chances of the shockwave and the Excalibur, of the hammer and Excalibur, rather than nerfing the chest itself, because there are a lot less loot on the map, and now this just makes less loot in total on the map. So now the Excalibur was fucking demolished, like actually destroyed. The damage is reduced by 5, that's player damage. You've reduced hipfire accuracy and greatly reduced structure damage. There's a note here. Even with Mythic Excalibur, which is not in competitive, not much of a meta opinion on it. I think they should give more resources than what they do back to what it was, but it's whatever. Now let's talk about some things that I really want to change on the actual map. So I think, sorry about that, my recording stopped for some reason, so let's go back to this. Some stuff I think they should add, or should change maybe. We want more metal on the map, more loot on the map, more splits, so unnamed locations. I think more natural movement is definitely what they need. I think the weapon meta is okay. I wouldn't mind buff scar, maybe a buff. Actually, the DMR is pretty good, but you really have to get used to it. So maybe I think that's good for what I would recommend for changing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if this helped you out, and if you agree with any of my meta opinions or disagree with them, I would love to hear your opinion on it. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a good one. Cheers.